Okay, I have completed the 12 stockinette rows of my first section, and now I'm going to be picking up stitches. I'm going to be picking up 6 stitches, and they have to range all the way from the top down to this very last stitch. So you're going to evenly place them so that they're coming down. And basically it's every other row since we had 12 rows. So what we're going to do is pick where you're not going into just one thread. So we kind of want to go under 2 threads. So I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to insert my needle from front to back like I'm knitting. And you'll notice that I've gone over 2 threads. So I'm going to wrap my yarn around, and then I'm going to bring it through like we did for the provisional cast on. And I've picked up 1 stitch. So now I'm going to go down a little, and again I'm going to go under 2, wrap around, and bring it through. And 3, 4, 5, and then we go into this last stitch. Now all of our 7 sections are going to go into this last stitch. So if you want to put a marker on it, you can, to just mark that this is the one that your 6th stitch of each section is going to go into. So now we're going to work another 12 rows in stockinette stitch, starting with a purl row. So we're only working on 6 stitches. The original 6 we're going to disregard. We're not working on them right now. Okay, so you'll see we have our original 6. We're not working those. We're now just going to work on these new 6 stitches. And if we look over here, come back to our beginning, you'll see this was our very first section. And then I picked up stitches along the edge, and I worked my next section. And you're just going to keep doing that. We work 12 rows of stockinette, and then we're going to pick up stitches all the way. You start as close to the top as you can and go all the way down to that bottom stitch. And you just keep doing that. Now, we are working on circular needles, and you may notice that it's a little tight when you try to pick up once you've got 2 sections on, okay, because the needle kind of doesn't bend as much. So what I like to do is I like to push this section down so it's on the cable needles, and then once it's on the cable needles I get a little bit more flexibility with my picking up stitches. So let me go ahead and work my 12 rows of this second section, and then I will show you how we're going to pick up for the third section. Okay, so I've finished my second section. So we're going to pick up stitches again along the left edge. So you'll see it's a little bit tight to kind of maneuver. So what I was saying was this first section, we're just going to scooch down so that it's on the cable needles. And then that kind of frees up the needle a bit to maneuver more. So again, we're going to pick up our 6 stitches and still trying to go underneath 2 strands. We wrap around as if we're knitting. We pick it up. So that's 1, 2, 4, 5, and then remember I told you that 6th one? The 6th one is going to go into this same stitch. If you look where we started, it's going to go in that same stitch. Now this one's going to end up getting a little bit stretched out. That's okay. When we're all finished, it's going to close up. If it still has a little bit of a hole, we can sew it at the end. That's no problem. We'll use the beginning tail. So don't worry if it gets stretched out. It will work out all the way in the end. So you're just going to continue doing this. After you pick up stitches, you work 12 rows of stockinette starting with a purl row, and you're going to work a total of 7 sections. And then in the next video I'm going to show you how we're going to put our stitches from the cast on back on the needle and how we work that last 8th section. Now you can do this same technique. You can do 4 sections, you can do 5 or 6, 7. You don't have to do a total of 8, but it's the same technique for however many sections that your starting star is going to have.